Well, here again was our test puller from earlier in the evening, Dave Walsh in the Irish Challenger. Now, he had the luxury of being the test puller, did not accept his pull of 286.6. He's made some changes. He's rearranged some weight. And let's see what he can do now with these 4 Arias engines on the Engler chassis. Here is the Irish Challenger.
Walsh is notorious for wheel speed, which means mile an hour. Look at this. Gary, he's going to bang it out the 300-foot mark. Yeah, he takes it out the back door.
A full pull, the first of the evening. So Dave Walsh, by virtue of being the test puller earlier, did not take that pull of 286.6 feet.
First pull, the front end came up drastically. Look how tight it stays to the ground now. I'm going to work my way over and see if I can talk with him, Gary.
Well, obviously, he made the right changes, added some weight to the front end. He kept the front end down. He has the horsepower and pulls it out. A full pull. Army?
What did you do different that these other guys haven't figured out yet tonight?
Well, I was the first pull, and I came back fourth. What I did is move the sled over on some harder ground, and I got after a little bit harder.
What about the weight of the sled? Are you moving it around on the tractor trying to get a better bite?
Yeah, I put 54 pounds up front that did the first time.
So 54 pounds makes the difference as Dave Walsh has a full pull in the Irish Challenger. Fred Freeman now second, the mean mistreater, and Mike Piper is third in Just Add Dirt. Well, a little entertainment here for a great crowd in Owensboro. Hang on! Oh, that was not part of the act.
Bucky Waters from Owensboro, Kentucky, showing how versatile the Bobcat is. I don't think he was supposed to do that, Gary.
I don't think that was in the Hollywood script. We'll come back with more tractor pulling on Trucks and Tractor Power from Owensboro, Kentucky. Gary Lee and Army Armstrong back in Owensboro, Kentucky. Only 2 of some 12,000 fans that have gathered here for tractor pulling competition. John Powell and the Powell pulling machine. And of course, Dave Walsh has laid down the gauntlet with a full pull. That is the distance to beat. Now, we've seen the Arias power plants and the Chevrolets, but John Powell is using 4 Keith Black Hemi engines.
Well, Gary, Powell rolled off the starting line. He started on the left side of the track. He's trying to come to the right. The sled is not letting him do it.
Well, he's to the right now, but not nearly far enough to challenge for a full pull.
Wall stays on top of this thing. A full pull. He showed it could be done.
John Powell in the Engler chassis. And this time, those Keith Black Hemis did not turn out enough horsepower for that full pull. And as we've indicated earlier, this is a good horsepower track.
All the drivers have a book on the track. In Daviess County, Kentucky, you come in, you load both barrels. It's not going to be enough in the Chrysler camp this evening, though, Gary.
So once again, the full pull turned in earlier by Dave Walsh is the distance to, well, you can't beat it. You can only tie a full pull and go into a pull-off.
Gary, here comes a real unique vehicle. Can you see anything a little bit different about this tractor that we haven't been seeing on the other tractors?
Well, this is a carbureted unit, which is very, very unusual. This is Niall Bunnage in the takes a licking and keeps on ticking.
Now, this multi-engine tractor runs an Engler chassis. This tractor is basically the same, and we've been watching all evening long, but he's giving away about 150 horsepower per engine by virtue of not being supercharged.
So why spend this kind of money for this tractor when you know you're not going to be competitive?
Well, he can pull competitive on a local level. In Southern Illinois, Southern Indiana, Western Kentucky. However, on a national level like this one, no, he's got to go play in another ballpark.
Well, here is a great camera shot from the sled. We look over his shoulder as Niall Bunnage tries unsuccessfully at only 164 feet.
He's trying to keep it in bounds, Gary. The rule in this sport is you cross that white line, no points, no money.
See the safety chain right there, which is a kill switch should the sled break loose from the tractor. Here's Tim Engler. We talked about the Engler chassis. This is the guy that puts those chassis together. Tim Engler in the Mission Impossible. Now, once again, he is looking to tie Dave Walsh. He'll need a full pull. 5 Chevrolet engines.
Starts extreme right side of the track, picks the front end up, comes down this track like the Atchison, Topeka, and the Santa Fe.
He's taking it out of there. Another full pull. So we indeed will have a pull-off this evening here in Owensboro, Kentucky.
Boy, the Battle of the Giants is going to be coming back in the next round. Engler used to run the Aries engine combination. He went to the Chevrolet. He said there's reasons behind it. He won't let us know what the reasons are, but whatever the scenario, it's working for him, Gary.
And he keeps the front end down, hooks the horsepower up, and takes it out of here. He has a full pull, so we'll have a pull-off between Engler and Walsh. Army, let's go back for some comments.
Well, Tim Engler, really, it's a cliche, but you really made it look easy.
Well, I tell you what, when we weighed in today, we lost about 175 pounds off the weight of the tractor that we normally run, and we knew it was an excellent track, and we lowered our drawbar, and we knew we couldn't get after the throttle real hard, or we'd get really wild on a tractor, so we just tried to keep it hooked and keep the RPM of the tires more or less equal to our ground speed, and it worked out pretty good.
We'll have a pull-off with 2 drivers and possibly a third. Our final competitor will be Robert Elliott, the fancy farmer out of Mayfield, Kentucky.
Now, Robert relies on horsepower. These engines look like they're Chrysler engines, Gary, but they're Miller racing engines. They were designed specifically for the sport of drag racing back in the 60s and 70s. They will make the horsepower. Did he make the right gear selection is the big question now.
Well, he will fall short of that necessary full pull at 277.62. So that means that Dave Walsh and Tim Engler will have a final shootout, a pull-off here in Owensboro, Kentucky.